Good evening, Joel.
What's up, buddy?
Good evening, NVKBA. Can everyone hear me out there in the internet land? What's up, Troy? What's up, Joshua? How you guys doing this evening?
You notice that you can see people's names now on Facebook?
Holy crap, I can.
I know. I logged in tonight instead of actually just being a guest. And I don't know if that's the reason why.
Yeah, I don't know. That's cool, though. Finally. Hogan, there he is. What's up, man? You guys ready for some smallmouth? I wish I was. I got a good excuse to be out of town, though. Little brother's getting married finally. So.
Should have coordinated the schedule better.
I know. I should have.
It's a nice shirt. Who made that?
Like that. Yeah. Found it in the drawer.
It shrunk on you.
I know, man. I don't know if that's good or bad. Who else we got here? Bob King. Good evening, sir. Lee Wells. Frank. How you gents doing? Appreciate everyone tuning in as usual. This will be our captain's meeting for this weekend. As you guys probably already are aware, I pushed out an email maybe a week or two ago, whenever we put the event up, letting everyone know that I will be out of town for this event. So we're going to be running a virtual awards. And I know, Joel, you already took the lead between you and Vic and Andy and Will. You guys are taking the lead on that. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts for me. I think I'll be here for the next event. I should be. So we'll hopefully get back to in-person meetups at that point. Another thing about this event, kind of like if you guys fished with us for years past, it's a pretty well dispersed event as far as launches and things like that. So anglers are pretty far apart, kind of similar to Potomac. It's kind of hard to find a good meetup spot. A lot of times we do it up in Winchester. I know that's far for some folks, but we figured, well, if I'm going to be out of town, this is going to be hopefully the last event that we have to have a virtual awards for. So, but with that said, the virtual awards are still cool. We still get to bring on the anglers and things like that, and give them the recognition that they deserve. So the only real difference is, obviously we don't get to shake their hands, and we'll have prizes and things like that as well still. So don't worry about that. Hopefully I think we're going to do raffles again, Joel, just like last time for all the sponsor prizes that we have.
We're doing that Sunday?
The live?
Yeah.
I think it'll be Saturday evening if you guys are able to.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that. I mean, I can run it Saturday evening. I just don't know about bringing people on.
Oh, right.
Might be get on and get off the stage quick. Maybe talk to them after.
Yeah, that's fine too. However you guys want to skin the cat, it's all good. I know obviously a lot of our winners go on and talk with Thomas Aarons too on Fishing the DMV. So, like I said, virtual events, they're not the way that we like to do things, but sometimes we have to do them that way. We always try to make every effort to do an in-person event. But like I said, hopefully this is the last one for the year. I think we'll be good for the rest of them. Oh yeah, Brewer, he's down at Gunnersville. That's right. Yep, that's a big event down there. The Bassmaster one, I think they're pushing 200 anglers at Gunnersville. So hopefully he does well. All right, so let's see here. Let me check Chaos really quick.
Mantis is catching green ones, not the right ones on the river right now. That's why my phone's going off. He caught a nice green one, but it's not a brown one.
Not a brown one. It's got to be brown this weekend, you guys. It's got to be brown. We're sticking with that challenge. I know a lot of anglers like it. Some anglers hate it, but like I said, it kind of gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit. Especially, this is one of our, I don't want to say lower participation events, but it's definitely not up there with places like the Potomac and Anna, just because, it's a different type of fishing. We'll go over some of the safety things to look out for, and whatnot, but it's definitely not for everyone. And we always say, you know, if you don't feel comfortable, don't don't push your limits. So if you guys need help finding places to launch or calm places to launch, if you don't feel comfortable doing rapids and things like that, let us know. We can try to steer you in the right direction. Let me go and pull the event up here really quick.
37.
We're looking at 37 already, so that's pretty good. I imagine we may hit 50. That'd be nice. Probably in the 40s. Should be a good, solid event, though. That's for sure. We definitely got a lot of good smallmouth sticks coming out to fish this one, too. But yeah, let me go ahead and pull our captain's meeting up, and we'll go ahead and kick this thing off. So we can get you guys back to your nice evening. It's beautiful outside, so I don't want to take too much of your time tonight. All right, here we go. First and foremost, say it every time, but we got to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for supporting our club and supporting these events. We would not be able to do it without them. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to do it without the anglers. So you guys make the club, they support the club, and just please do business with them. We just got the code from one of our newest sponsors this year, Broken Twig Landing Nets. So please go check them out. If you are a member, you should have already received the email that I sent out earlier this week. It has the discount code. And I just got shipping confirmation today from Broken Twig that they're sending out one of their medium landing nets as a prize for us to give away this year. So super excited about that. I can't wait to get that thing in my hand and check it out because I plan on ordering one myself. Good, sturdy, quality nets made from broken hockey sticks. It's pretty cool. They're killing two birds with one stone there, recycling old sticks, and they love fishing too. So why not make a good net out of it? Joel, I know you have one or two, right?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to buy them, the only knock, can't do anything about it just because it's an awkward shape, is the shipping costs when you go to buy them. The discount code definitely helps offset some of that. But if anyone wants to do like a group buy and do one order together, I'm pretty sure it helps him cut down on cost and shipping too, to have it all in one box. So if you're interested in doing that, just let me know and we can coordinate that. I'm trying to buy one for my boat now, two separately, and have a longer handled one. So,
and the cool thing about those nets is there's no, like, they're all unique, right? Like,
yep.
They're all from different hockey sticks. They may all have different color variations. So
he makes a pro one. He doesn't. So I'm not a Capitals fan, but he makes some pro team ones, and they have them discounted right now too, where they're professional players for different teams, and it's. I'm not positive it was their stick that he got that was broken, or if it's the stick that they play with and it has their name on it, basically. But he does some really cool stuff. He's a good guy. I ended up finding him just because it had a deeper bag in it, and that was one of the problems I had with some of the nets I had, is that fish weren't flopping out necessarily, but it always kind of felt like they weren't going to stay in the net if I let them cool off in there. So that was a big part of finding them, and they float. So
that's even better. That's awesome.
I've had it for 2+ years now, and it's held up great. So
excellent. Yeah, like I said, I can't wait to get that. I'll make sure I bring it to events as well. Not sure when or how we're going to award it. We thought about Big Bass at the end of the year, but we got some ideas. So, but I'll definitely make sure we bring it to the events. You guys can check them out. All right, without further ado, we'll go ahead and kick this off. This is your official captain's meeting for the 2024 Smallie Showdown on the beautiful Shenandoah River, right here in Northern Virginia. Let's see. All right, so here's some of the things we're going to go over tonight. We're going to go talk registration, rules overview, pre-fishing, eligible waters, some safety, and then kind of the game day timeline, just like we've done in the past. And then we'll open up to questions at the end. If you guys do have questions, go ahead and you can ask them as they pop up, in case you don't want to forget your question, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. All right, everyone knows event registration is on our tournament management system, Fishing Chaos. The registration cutoff time will be tomorrow evening at 11:59 p.m. For you military folks, 23:59. That'll be the cutoff. So you still have plenty of time. We got a day and a half, or sorry, no, a day-ish. So make sure you get signed up. It's going to be a good day. I think weather's going to hold up. It might be a little rainy, but I don't think we're going to have many major issues in terms of, faster flow and high levels and things like that. So we definitely I think we got lucky here. We just hope it stays that way over the next 24 to 48. So we'll keep an eye on the weather and all that good stuff as well. Rules overview. I'm not going to read all this. It's probably a little difficult to read, but basically this is the new 2024 version of the club's rules overview that talk about how we still use the KBF rules, but what we did was took everything out of the KBF rules and we made an NVKBA rules document. So you can refer to the KBF rules. Just know that the NVKBA rules document does have some things omitted, some things that we don't follow, like wade fishing, for instance, in the rivers. In our events, we do allow the wade fishing, especially for this river tournament. So as long as you're within reasonable distance from your kayak and you do take your fish back to your kayak to measure it on the kayak, you are authorized to wade fish. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about this, just hit me up.
Mike, just to clarify, is that kayak invisibility or is it tethered to yourself?
It doesn't have to be tethered to yourself. I'm not a big fan of that.
Yep.
You can if you'd like, but yeah, good question. Yeah, so as long as you're within a reasonable distance, I say, I don't know, maybe no more than 25 yards, something like that.
Yep.
But you can definitely walk around and fish and enjoy the scenery, enjoy the water. Especially you fly fishermen, maybe you want to whip the fly rod out. I know that's much easier off the kayak. All right, pre-fishing cutoff will be tomorrow, May 17th at 4 p.m. So no pre-fishing after 4 p.m. all the way up until lines in. Obviously, don't be using professional guides. No one should have been using professional guides within the last, 21 days. And then launching early. We can did we make an early launch one for this event? I think we're going to stick with that for the lakes one, right, Joe? I don't think we changed that yet.
I think you said 6 on this, but let me look.
If I did, that's fine. 6 is half an hour.
Yep.
So you can hang out by the ramps, get your boat in the water early as you want, but hang out by the ramps. We're giving you half an hour to launch this time. So just remember that. If it's not,
let me fact check it real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, there's no
restriction on this tournament.
We didn't put it. I think it would just talk.
Okay, so I think we had talked about it, but I think we're not going to implement that until the next lake tournament. For this rivers tournament, yeah, I'm not as concerned about the river event just because I know a lot of the launches are pretty tight. I know the parking is pretty tight as well. So I just want you guys to get in the water and get out. Obviously, don't be pre-fishing or conducting any type of pre-fishing activities when you launch. So, thanks for checking on that, Joel. But, the cat is out of the bag now, so we are going to be going towards launch restrictions in the next event. So keep an eye out for that. We'll make sure we push that out. It's not going to be anything ridiculous. You're still going to have at least a half hour. I may even look into like an hour, but we definitely don't want to have folks going out there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. It just doesn't make any sense. So I want to give everybody, kind of keep everyone on the same page, but obviously practice ramp etiquette and all that good stuff. So we'll talk more about that, guys. Eligible waters. All right. Sorry again if this is a little small.
I'm not an old guy. My good Lord.
Yeah, and you have glasses too. You have to flip your phone sideways and zoom in. So yeah, assumptions and expectations. Okay, so we had this on our slide from last year for this tournament, but this is really important. Okay, don't when we start talking eligible waters, we have the whole river, right? But that doesn't mean the whole river is navigable. I think most of the Shenandoah is. This really does apply later on in the season for the Upper Potomac, but the rule's going to go across the board. So the guidance is going to go across the board for all those kind of events. So understand that these boundary lines do not represent safe to and from floats for this event. That'd be a very long day if you went from one end to the other. I don't think you'd make it back in time for awards. These boundary lines are only used to indicate the farthest authorized points of fishing for this event. Ensure you conduct your research and know your float. There are multiple unsafe places on each of these bodies of water, this one being the Shenandoah River. So it is imperative that you always wear your PFD and carry all necessary safety items while floating these rivers. It is highly encouraged that you float with a buddy or a group. Or this obviously the whole communication rule. We're not out there communicating when it comes to tactics for fishing and all that good stuff. You can have conversation, have fun, enjoy each other's company, but we're not talking about something that's going to benefit any one person from doing better in the tournament. When researching floats, especially with whitewater class ratings, remember that rapids class is not fixed and it can vary greatly depending on the water depth and speed of flow. Some rapids may be easier at higher flow because the features of the river are covered up or quote unquote washed out. However, water levels usually make rapids more difficult, unpredictable, and dangerous. So just be careful when you're navigating the rapids. Don't do anything that you don't feel confident in doing. Make sure you bring an anchor, a drag chain, or something to help slow you down if you start to panic. Panic is probably the worst thing you can do. I know it's easy to say, but the more calm you are, the more collected you are, the better off you're going to be able to navigate rapids and things like that. I'm not an expert when it comes to kayak or whitewater kayaking or even river kayaking for that matter. We do have a lot of who I would call experts in the group. So if you have questions about that kind of stuff, please ask around. Don't be discouraged to ask a question, especially when we're talking safety. And with all that being said, plan to flip, plan to dump your kayak, plan to fall off, plan to hit a rock. Those kinds of things might happen. They probably will happen. I hope nobody flips, but if you do, be prepared to. Don't be having a whole bunch of tethers dangling off your kayak. Keep a neat and clean deck. Don't be having hooks and stuff laying all over the place. Use your dry bags, use your tackle boxes and all that good stuff to make sure that in the event that does happen, you will have the best chance of not getting hooked by one of your rods, by some of your baits, not getting choked from a choking hazard or anything like that that's hanging off your kayak. Fish clean, have a clean deck. Have I recommend taking a minimalist approach, to be honest. I don't know if there's really any need for 12 rods out there on these kinds of waters. So get used to changing baits and packing light. And if anybody has additional tips and advice on that kind of stuff, please feel free to chime in, make a post in the group and all that good stuff. I know a lot of folks may not want to speak up about it, but they would greatly appreciate that type of extra information. So, we have an article here that you guys can check out. It talks about kayak river fishing safety. There's a link there. And again, I think we posted this up on the group yesterday, so everybody has access to the slide deck. You can go and check this stuff out if you want to learn more about that. Hard copy water trail guides. It's a little late now to order those, but those are always great to have on hand. GMCO Maps makes some really good ones. Front Royal Outdoors has a good one for the Shenandoah River. So just check those things out, guys, and especially if you're trying to get better at river fishing, those are great materials to have, great hard copy type stuff that you're not going to, lose on your phone if you drop your phone in the water. Chris, yeah, I do agree. Tethers do save you a lot of money, but it's one of those things. I'm going to play devil's advocate on that one too. I think your life is a lot more important than a fishing rod. Floats are another good option for fishing rods. The little foam pieces that you can wrap around the rods, they help. It's not going to stop your rod from floating down the river, but you might get it back.
The blackback ones aren't terrible too.
No, yeah, that's a great point. You have to tackle those new. Yep, they make those new rod tubes that have the elastic strap. So that's a much better option in my opinion. But yeah, we could talk about that stuff all day. There's pros and cons to all of it. Just use your heads and make sure that you put the most valuable thing prioritized, and that's you. All right, let's move on. So here we're talking our boundaries.
Hey, Mike, before you get going, just because I can't show comments and I'll forget this, right? Yeah. I don't feel like scrolling back up. So Chris Johnson just asked one of the other events going on and the team events, right? And so a big part of why that rule was implemented, at least at KBF, was due to a team fishing concept, right? And so there is still no communication, right? you can talk about that you caught fish. You can talk about how big the fish was, but not where you caught it, how you caught it, the bait you caught it, how you were working it, all that stuff. That's all in the rules now. So, I mean, that would apply for our event. I can't speak for the other event, but that's the way the rules are now, specifically due to team events.
And then it doesn't matter if the person's fishing or not. You can't call your best friend who knows the river and ask for advice. Anybody outside of the event or in the event, you can't have that type of communication. Call your wife, call your friends. Don't be talking fishing. So yes, sir. Good question.
Right.
Good question. All right. So boundaries, starting all the way south at the Port Republic Bridge, the 253 bridge, and that's going to extend all the way to the North Fork and the South Fork confluence, otherwise known as Riverton. Oh, excuse me. You can see on the map here on the left the bridges. Anything past those bridges, can't fish it, and the river flows north. So it's going to go all the way up to, you see the green arrows on the right. That's the direction of the flow, and the North and South Fork are going to meet there. So again, this is the South Fork Shenandoah. That's where it's going to meet the confluence at Riverton, and then you're going to see the North Fork right here. So the North Fork is going to start at the Edinburgh or the 675 bridge, and you're going to be able to fish that north from that point all the way to that South Fork. You see the same picture off to the right where the North Fork meets the South Fork, and that's Riverton. Again, all that's eligible. That's just where the cutoffs for the North and South Fork are, and then it goes into the main river, which is still technically South Fork, right? But it's the main river, the only part of the Shenandoah that continues on after Riverton. And it goes all the way up to Harper's Ferry, and that's the B&O Railroad Bridge. You can fish in that area, but you can't fish, north of that B&O Bridge. And then I don't have the photo here. I don't know why I don't have it. Oh, because I think it actually extended into the Upper Potomac, but you're going to be allowed to fish this section. Hang on, let me pull the map up really quick so I don't say the wrong thing. But you're going to be allowed to fish the Harper's Ferry area. Where are we at? Here we go.
Is the line drawn right before that last green arrow, right?
Yeah. So that's it's going to go to the 340 bridge. So you technically get a little bit of the Upper Potomac right there. Because there's no bridge, or we go on Shenandoah Bridge. I already put it out that we allowed them to fish Harper's Ferry, but I totally did not catch the fact that when I made these boundaries, I actually had them connecting to the Upper Potomac because the Upper Potomac used to be in play for this event.
Yeah, if you got a bridge, the bridge is good. Just go.
So it's going to be the Harper's Bridge. It's the Route 340 bridge. So yeah, you're getting a tiny bit of the Upper Potomac there at the northern part of the Shenandoah, and you could technically fish, like I said, where the Upper Potomac meets the Shenandoah at the B&O Bridge, but that's it. Those are the only parts that you can fish. Anything past the 340 bridge is ineligible. Yep. Get back to our stream. There we go. What's up, Robert Brown? Hey, Robert, I got to hit you up, man. I met a guy that knows you, one of your Navy buddies. All right, moving on to safety. And again, guys, keep pumping the questions out. We'll make sure we get to those. We'll push through this really quick here. Obviously, PFD and whistle goes without saying, but make sure you have them. Make sure they work. Make sure your whistles work. Go ahead and, give them a toot before you go out. Make sure they're good to go. Bring food, bring some water. Make sure you're hydrated before you go out. Make sure you have your visibility items, your 360-degree white light. If you're running motors, run your reds and greens, especially early in the morning. And then weather considerations, like I said before, we'll keep an eye on that. I don't foresee any major issues, but we'll definitely keep an eye on weather. Check in and check out will be enabled for this tournament. If you do have issues with that, just let me know and I'll try to fix it. I know we've had issues the last few times. I think when it says check out, it really means check in, and check in really meant check out. I don't know. It was confusing.
You're gonna have to change the tournament start time to earlier and write in the note.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Notes. Yeah, that's so right now it shows starting at 6:30. So you're gonna have to back that off to like 5 a.m. in order to make it flow right, I think.
Yeah, I'll play around with that. And like we always say, help others in need. If you see somebody out there struggling, if you see someone having problems with an anchor, maybe they did flip over and they lost some gear, go help them out. Take that time and go help someone. That's what we're here for. We have fun tournament fishing, but at the end of the day, it's about making sure that we all come home safe to our loved ones. And then same thing goes for emergencies. If there's anything out there going on that involves loss of life, limb or eyesight, call 911. Don't call me. That's always something that we try to avoid to the furthest extent. And it all starts with good preparation. So make sure you're prepared mentally and physically, and have all your equipment in order. And get your phone numbers out too. Share phone numbers with each other. Make sure everybody can. Like I said earlier, a good thing to do is to float with a buddy or a group. All right, game day timeline, launch etiquette. Like we say always, make sure you get you're using the boat ramp if you're wet launching. Most of you guys are going to be running pretty light kayaks for this tournament, so you probably won't need to wet launch. Definitely bring wheels and share wheels. Carts are a great thing to have for these types of events. So if you see someone struggling with their kayak, offer to lend them your wheels. Just be a helping hand to get folks out on the water safely and quickly and efficiently, so that we're not congesting the boat ramps and things like that. There probably will be boaters out there as well, especially at places like Riverton. It's a big time launch for bass boats and other bigger boats. So make sure you get in and out of other folks' way as quickly as possible, and set the standard. If you see somebody taking their sweet time, maybe they don't know what, maybe it's their first few times fishing with us or fishing out of a kayak, help them out, encourage them. Hey, do you need help? Offer to lend a helping hand and get out and get on the water as quick as possible. Line's wet, 6:30, lines in 2:30. Obviously species, we're sticking with smallmouth only for this tournament, and we're going with a 12-inch limit. And it's going to be 5 fish that you can score. And then recovery etiquette, same thing. When you're, waiting to use the ramp, if there's a kind of a line there to get out of the water, that's a great time to pack up all your stuff as much as you can possibly pack up while you're on the boat or while you're sitting on your kayak waiting. Throw your anchor down and just start getting everything cleaned up and ready to go. That way, it's just one less thing you got to worry about when you're pulling your kayak out of the water. And then we talked awards. They will be virtual. I know you guys are going to handle that. I appreciate it very much. Joel and Vic. And Andy, I think Andy's going to be doing a lot of the judging as well on Saturday. So big shout out to Andy. I appreciate you, man.
And
all right.
Mike, before you keep going, saw 2 questions to hit up related to that and then related to what you're about to talk about. So Ronnie mentioned that the other event, I believe it's the Smallie Chaser River Bassing, is launching earlier than us and ending after us. Mm-hmm. Our lines in are our lines in. It wasn't really coordinated with us, so it just kind of is what it is. So
yeah,
you're fishing that event. Our lines in are at 6:30, so not sure exactly what, but I mean that's our time. With it not being a day after, I'll say that, I mean, you can overrule this, Mike, but I mean, lines out are a little different, obviously, but you obviously can't. If we'll be able to tell that the picture was taken after lines out, so don't think that because you're fishing till 4 that we won't be able to tell. I mean that information's in the photograph.
Right.
Then there was another question, and I think Josh Gray asked earlier about GPS cords. We won't have those GPS cords turned on for judging. Mike will be able to check that after the fact. It'd kind of be, I'll say, maybe a delay in the view, but you don't have to worry about us looking at the rock or the boulder. Even so, I mean, I've only seen like high level ever in the past before for old events, just out of curiosity of how it kind of loads for events that aren't like, what was it, the charity event, right? And it's a heat map. It doesn't give you, we're not getting the GPS dot on the lake, on the waypoint. It doesn't work like that. So It's very generic. It's basically to show that you're within bounds of what the expected lake is or the expected boundary lines are.
Yeah. And that's one of those things too. We don't, at the end of the day, an angler can catch a fish wherever the hell they are going to catch a fish. Where they take the picture is completely different from where they casted their line, or where they caught the fish. They may move upstream and, submit or whatever. We don't know at the end of the day. It's all based on integrity, and, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple.
Sorry, Josh, you asked that one earlier when you mentioned we were judging, so I just wanted to make sure that was covering your question, or concern.
Oh, he was asking about Bob's coordinates for the.
I need Bob to stay off the river because he's sore lipping all of them right now. And
dude, hey, and if you guys can't tell, I used a lot of the pictures that they posted in this deck. Is that Bob right there? I think that is. No, that's Frank. Excuse me, that's Frank. Frank Bogdan and his nice smallmouth that he caught. There's Justin navigating some rapids, looking like a pro.
Yeah, the river's not dangerous, but it's definitely up right now.
Yep,
from what I've heard.
There's one of Ben's smallmouth. Nice looking fish.
Some good ones.
Heck yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it, fellas and ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. I'm looking through right now to see if we missed any questions. Yeah, good luck to Brewer down there, man. Gunnersville. Thomas Aaron said he could help with the virtual event. I appreciate it, man. We'll definitely keep in touch. Like I said, I'm going to be out of town. I will be back in town Sunday. I just don't know. I know I have a lot going on. It's going to be Riley's birthday Sunday, so I may be out of pocket most of the day. But yeah, if you plan to do it Sunday, Joel, just let me know. And
yeah, I mean, we'll probably. So the only thing I wanted to touch on too, we can talk more about it later. With the geomagnetic stuff going on lately, at least in my personal experience, when I'm out in public and not on Wi-Fi, which is rare, the connection has been awful everywhere. We'll probably end up turning the low-res photos on as an option.
They are.
Definitely don't sandbag your fish. I mean, if you got reception and you can upload something, upload it. Mm-hmm. I'm struggling to load a basic website right now if I'm not on Wi-Fi. So just be cognizant of that the major providers have been having some issues. And as we all know, the Shenandoah has pretty awful reception as it is already without that issue. So if you get a chance to put it up, and if you're not able to get them up, it's time management. Get off the water. I believe you gave an hour of leeway, right?
Yeah, we're giving an hour for this tournament, so you should have plenty of time.
Yeah, get off the water. And
3:30 cutoff for that. Still has to be caught before 2:30, but you have that whole hour to get things submitted.
Don't call me. You don't have my number anyways, but don't call me, and don't call Mike either, please, unless it's an emergency.
Yeah, I'll have my phone, but like I said, I'm gonna be in the middle of a wedding Saturday afternoon, and getting ready most of the morning. So, but yeah, like I said, appreciate you, Joel. Appreciate Vic and Andy, Chris Johnson. Appreciate you very much, man, for helping us out. Kind of keeping me abreast of things going on the river this week. Greatly appreciate that. Scott says none of the floats that he's been on have had service. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, if you get service, use it, and then take advantage of that hour. If you need to get off the water a few minutes early, do that, because you don't want to lose your fish. That's for sure.
To a gas station somewhere.
Yep.
You want to? I know we'll probably go up in numbers, hopefully, but payouts at all?
Yeah, let's check that out really quick.
So I got it up.
Okay.
So right now, first is paying $731. Second would be $352. Third at $211, and fourth at $112. Big bass at 37 anglers would be $370 with a $50 kicker from Southland Concrete, so that'd be $420.
Nice.
So guys that have been fishing with us, and you can ask James Coleman because he's taken down both big bass so far. That pays right now. We're paying out more for big bass than we are second place. So there's definitely something. If you're having a bad day, don't get discouraged and all it takes is one fish to kind of make or break your day kind of thing. So
Yep.
Maybe one day I'll catch one of them, but I'm not holding my breath. So
It's definitely a good payout. I'm glad we did that. I think it works really well. So, all right. Well, that's all we got. Joel, do you got anything else? Did I miss anything?
No, the only other thing was you got to put it out in writing. You were asking me earlier this week. That's talking about the classic and talking about
Yes.
qualification process, how that'll work. I don't know if you want me to touch on that at all.
Yeah, let's touch on it. Let's hit that now.
So last year was the first year we had kind of changed, and it wasn't a minimum event thing. We'll definitely put this out in writing, so it's not just in this event only, because not everybody will watch this. Everyone's fishing this event. Last year we just did a top 30 with roll downs if you weren't able to make it within the top 30 for AOI. This year we added an extra event we haven't had in the past, so there's an additional event. After reviewing it last year, we kind of all decided and talked about it. So we're going to drop one event this year still out of the, I believe it's 7 tournaments, correct, Mike?
Yep.
So it's your best 6 events. It'll be the top 30 from the best 6 events after you drop your first event. From there, though, additionally, the change that we made is if you've won an event this year. So right now, I believe it's Josh Reese and why am I blanking? Brandon Byram, right? Correct.
Byram.
So they both have already qualified for the classic. So right now we're carrying 32 anglers. By the end of the year, we'll have 37 people that'll be qualified to fish the classic at Lake Anna. I believe it's September 22nd, right? 23rd, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's like the last weekend.
Week before my anniversary. That's all I remember.
Last weekend.
Yep. So that'll be how that works. The only other thing, so if you've noticed, we've not been posting the AOI standings on the website how we've done in the past. Right now, we've figured out and kind of have set up for the scoring within Fishing Chaos. The only anomaly or the caveat to all of that is if you've only fished one event and you didn't score a fish for whatever reason, your participation points, the 20 points, are not showing. If you fish another event and you happen to score a fish, I can go back and edit that and give you those points. But right now, if you blanked one event and that was your only event, or you fished 2 events and you blanked both events, I'm not able to add you just because you don't show up in the leaderboard. So if you don't see your name there, that's the reason why. We'll rectify that when the time comes. We will end up having to take all this out and put it into Excel, more or less to drop the single event or your worst event. But right now it's kind of automated based on the standings, which saves me a lot of time personally. So it's definitely been nice to have that feature. So if you see something that looks off, please let me know. Lee, you're probably correct. I'm probably jumping ahead a week. I'm thinking about last year. Probably I don't have the schedule in front of me. That sounds right. Maybe.
Yeah, it's 5th October.
Okay, yeah, it's the week after my anniversary then. So I was a week early or 2 weeks early. Yep. So that's all with that. We'll put that on the website for AOI qualification. So, and that was something we noticed last year. We had a few people only fished 2 or 3 events, happened to win an event and not able to fish the classic. And we want to give those guys, I mean, they deserve it to participate and to be there.
Winning an event's a big deal.
Yeah, and we want to kind of recognize that. We definitely had some people actually that only fished 4 events and still qualify for the classic too. So before I was kind of not setting we're trying to set a kind of not necessarily a higher bar, but because it is a bigger buy-in at the end of the year, and it's a little bit more trying to make it a little bit more prestigious, and you kind of have to earn it versus just participating to get there. So last year I think was great. No promises on shirts this year. Everything's more expensive, as you know. So
yeah, we just got racked with a big bill here too. We got for those who don't know, we've been operating as a nonprofit ever since we've got this thing started back in 2017, 2018. We had, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but just to give everyone's awareness when it comes to club funding, because everybody has the right to know about club funding. We applied for our nonprofit, our 501c7 status a couple years ago, actually technically about 3 years ago now. We got everything good to go when it came to the state level of things, but nothing was actually done on the federal side, to my knowledge. And then I found out about a year later that the folks who were actually supposed to be doing that for us, it didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to. So long story short, we were recognized by the state as a 501c7, but not by the federal side, to the IRS. So we need to get that squared away, and we got that squared away this year. I got a guy helping me out, an actual CPA. So we're getting the club back on track when it comes to, it doesn't change anything when it comes to like write-offs and stuff like that for our sponsors. But it just helps us have that actual that status, because we had the EIN this whole time, so our EIN's not changing or anything like that. It just, now we have to pay that one-time fee of like, I think it's like $600, and then there's like a $400 processing fee. So we're getting schwacked with $1,000 bill, to make this right. So
if you want to donate to Riley's trust fund, you have Mike's PayPal.
I didn't even pay him out from the last tournament yet, so he might be donating.
He might have paid for it. That's his truck money, I told you. So
yeah, that's right.
It's definitely a little bit of a ding, but it's going to let us do a lot more. It's one of the things we found it last year when we were trying to run the raffle for the kayak, that legally, if you're not a federally recognized nonprofit, that you can't actually run a raffle.
Yeah, that's why we had to run the raffle through VKAE, because they had their stuff squared away and we didn't. So shout out to them too. But yeah, we're getting there, guys. We're getting this thing organized, keeping it good to go for the future and for hopefully generations to come. So
for when I retire next year.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, if we maybe figure out a way to make this a big franchise, who knows? You never know what can happen. Yeah, gotta love the government, right? Death and taxes. But hey, all right, it's been here for 45 minutes now. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks again. Good luck this weekend. Please tell all your friends, sign up. You got till tomorrow at midnight. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Joel, to Vic, Will, Andy, Chris, all you guys. Like I always say, I appreciate it very much. Couldn't do it without you. And even though I won't be there on the river with you guys this weekend, I'll definitely be rooting for each and every one of you. So thanks, Joel. Have a great night, my brother. And we'll see you guys this weekend after the event.
Have a good wedding, bud.
Thanks. All right. And we'll cue the music.